What do I put for the Twitch game? Is there just like a... What did I have that at before? I don't remember now. Just art? It's like Art of Fighting and Art of Rally all come up.
Yeah, it was just art, I think.
I don't seem to have that option though.
That's weird.
Oh, there it is. I have to do capital A. Okay.
Bouncy ball of steel.
That looks good. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Well, we're gonna do another prop jam. Just a quick little 1 hour prop jam, just like we used to do. The idea is we're gonna do just kind of like mall themed kind of shit. This is fucked up. But yeah, I'm working on that mall project I was talking about before. So it would be nice to have some assets for that. So we're gonna make like, you know, like a door, like like a metal detector, like pipes, just various things that would be in a mall. And we'll give ourselves 1 hour to do various ones because they'll be kind of smaller ones that we could knock out pretty quick, I'd think. So maybe we'll do like, you know, 2 apiece within the hour. It's hard to say for sure though. Do you have any that you want to like claim? Or because we're not really rolling for it, we're just gonna be like, I'm just gonna make a metal detector first.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, it would be cool. Maybe. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say it would be cool to do a vending machine.
Oh
but
yeah.
I feel like that's its own thing entirely, you know? Like I feel like that could be a jam.
It doesn't have to be like that's like all a texture basically. The shape is the easy part.
Maybe I do the vending machine the first pass and then
I'll do the texture work.
I'll try and do as much as I can with the texture and try and set it up in a way where we can just like put in new
That's true, yeah.
easily.
So just do like a basic, like just do like soda. Just write soda on it.
Yeah.
And then we can come back to it and add all kind of variants.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm just going to show what I have for the mall so far. It's just this little slice mirrored on both axes. Oh shit. So you see like I've kind of cheesed it a little bit, but that saves a lot of time. So you got all these stores. It's so hard to navigate them with Blender's thing, but if I kind of readjust the camera. You got the stores, and they all have interiors, and they all have a little back storage room. And I'm gonna try to lower the roof like this on all the storage rooms. I just forgot to do that. I want them to feel more claustrophobic.
I think scaling is gonna be like a thing we have to mess with a couple times.
What do you mean, like on the textures?
No, like on the buildings and stuff. Like.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the proportions are not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So I kind of just eyeballed it. But yeah, I was thinking if we just called it like Asterisk Mall, because it just looks like an asterisk.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That'd be kind of funny, and it kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit. But yeah, the idea is that there'll be, you know, bam, bam. There's like multiple floors to this thing.
I was thinking how to, I guess the parking garages are pretty big.
Yeah, and then you got the parking garage.
But the cars, I was thinking, like going up with the cars.
That's true. So yeah, maybe when we repeat to the second floor, this isn't a car garage anymore.
Yeah.
Or we put a ramp that connects the shopping garages as well.
Yeah, maybe the doorway goes right into a like on one side of it. there's like a spiral.
I also just threw together a wall texture, like as we were talking, that I ended up pretty happy with.
Oh wow, you made that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I just realized I didn't have it on closest, but still. I think it came out pretty nice. I was just kind of spitballing around in Sprite, and I found a feature of where you could like tile. You could have it repeat automatically in Sprite, so that way you'll know what it'll look like.
Yeah.
So the UVs for this are just like, see how they're just gigantic? But it's pretty easy to mess with. But yeah, I like how it came out. At first it was a little too detailed, but yeah, right now they're all just solid colors because I wanted to make sure that, like, you know, the inside and the outside can look different and they're not like connected. Because before I just had the box and then I just copied a bunch of walls like that, you know? So the back wall was still all one face. So it would have been a pain in the ass to make the texture for that and have to like line it all up. So I set it up so that the back wall on each store is like, it's now a unique texture or a unique face. So like that. They could all individually have their own like vibes inside.
Yeah.
And before we start like decorating the shops, actually, I'll apply the mirror. So we'll do all kinds of new shit. But yeah, maybe like some metal detectors could go here. Maybe I make room for some vending machines. I don't really know where. Maybe next to the stairs right here. Bam. Bam. Maybe we do, once I put a roof. Well, actually, I do have a roof made. But it was too annoying modeling with it on, so I hid it. Yeah, maybe we do like security cameras, but I already have that. Like pipes on the roof. You know, just shit like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think you want to start with? Just the vending machine?
Yeah. I think just I think like I would like the project of setting up the UVs in a nice way that they're editable.
Yeah, that's a much more like
the
attainable
image is
1
editable.
hour goal.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll try to do metal detector, see if, because I feel like I'm kind of, it's possible I'm underestimating this, but I'm kind of feeling like I'll be able to run through the metal detector pretty quick. If I do...
Don't get tricked by the hole. Don't get tricked by holes in it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess it's just, so it's like this, and then like horizontal lines going through. I guess I need to just look it up. I don't even remember what they look like.
I think a lot of them look different.
I have an idea in my head, but...
I mean, nowadays, they probably could just be like...
Oh, like one of these boys.
Oh, those are like airport ones. That's the thing. I hesitated to call them metal detectors because they're not really. They're like theft detectors. They just detect the tags.
Oh, you're right. Oh, wait, I think this one, right? Like this?
Yeah.
Let me just
I
try
guess they are
theft
metal
detector.
Or store metal detector.
Yeah, this is more what I had in mind.
Yeah.
But I want it to be like,
That one's the one I had in mind. That the one with the red on top.
this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think we could line up a bunch of those. And Connor suggested I make it in the same style as the security camera. So I could do like a white and gray with like red highlights, which already seems to match perfectly. So yeah, you can see why I'm thinking that's a pretty simple one I could knock out. So yeah, well, so I guess it's more of just like a mall jam. I don't know. But it is a prop jam, but we're not going to randomly roll for it. We're just going to know what we're making and just go for it.
Yeah.
So, do you want to just keep an eye on the clock and just at 7:40?
Yeah.
Should I do the
I think
timer?
That's
Hello.
fine.
Oh yeah, holes can be scary in 3D modeling. It's I think if
The
you're smart
trick
about it,
is,
it's not a big deal, but they can be like, oof.
yeah, the trick is to not think that you can cut holes into a thing. Cutting holes through something is like really like detrimental to stuff usually.
So if I had this cube and I wanted a hole through it, I could just like really quickly, I could just like make a cylinder and then, you know.
Yeah, the Boolean is so messy. I guess this probably won't look that ugly because it's a cube. There aren't that many vertices.
I'll make it like kind of offset like this too. Yeah, and then this is like one really cheap way to get away with it. If you make a Boolean, which basically just says like remove this from this kind of deal. Oh, and I kind of did that weird. Whatever. See, now it's got like a hole in it. It's not
But it's
too
not
bad.
like a solid.
Yeah,
That's
so now I'd have to go inside and like create faces between all of these, which would be a pain. And then also,
ideally,
it gets this
wouldn't you be
weird
able to
top.
keep that cylinder in there? I think one of the Boolean settings lets you keep the cylinder.
I think wait, couldn't I do this and like loft it? Either way, a cube isn't a great example, like you said. Like, I did it with a person before, and it was like, that was what I was like, oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
Loft is a special tool, though.
But yeah, if it's just like a static object, then it's not that bad, really. But when it causes troubles is when you try to do like smooth shading. Like you can see here how fucking ugly that looks with smooth shading. It's because I did it like the cheap way.
Because it interprets triangles as like slopes, so it doesn't know whether to slope down or up.
So if I was gonna keep it as flat shading and it's a static object, then Boolean works fine. But otherwise, if I wanted this exact shape but I wanted it to look good in smooth shading, I'd have to like go through and be very clever with like starting from the circle and kind of work around that, I think is the idea.
Yeah. Really,
But
if you just if you edge select that circle really quick, just edge select it, and then, oh, that's weird. If you do Control B and drag it out,
How far?
do Control B and then do mouse wheel.
Whoa. That's cool. What the fuck? I'm making like a black hole.
But then look at it in smooth shading. It's much smoother around the hole specifically.
Yeah, this was like a speaker. It's like a subwoofer.
Yeah, it does actually.
That's pretty neat. I've never done that. I didn't know you could do the mouse wheel with bevel.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's
Trombone.
way off topic. So yeah, I guess 6:45. I'll just start like a phone timer, I suppose, for an hour. Do you have your blend file open?
Yeah.
Okay, I just started the timer. So yeah, in the case of this, rather than me being like, you know, I make this big tall thing and then I try to poke holes in it, it would be better if I made like the individual pieces. Like if I make this rail, this rail, this rail, this rail, this rail, and just kind of stick them together. That would be a much cleaner way to implement that, I would think. And then the base thing would just be a square. So yeah, something like this shit.
I wonder if trombone sounds a lot like the flower girl from Parappa.
He could probably be Superman.
Maybe not.
Is that even the same girl?
I don't know.
And then I'll also mirror it just to make my life a little bit easier. So these shapes are already coming together. Oops.
The vending machine that I was thinking of is called the Vendo Univender.
It's a specific like brand you were looking for?
Well, I just found the one and then it had the brand listed.
Oh, okay.
Made by Vendo. The sodavendingmachine.com.
I guess it has multiple loops going through it. Okay, that's not bad. It's already looking all right. Add a little bit of flair to it, you know. So it's funny, like today's like air quotes E3 conference was like more what I expected the Summer Games thing to be. Which was funny because like I was like, oh whatever, it's like a side thing pre E3. And then that was actually really cool, so then it like made me more excited for this one. And then it was like falling back to earth, you know, like yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't awful though, especially I mean the IGN one was better. Because they actually had some games to show. I was so mad about that, the fucking Payday 3 teaser. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
They were like, we finally have something to show for Payday 3.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking picture. It's just a picture.
That he goes, and there you have it.
It's nothing.
Like right at the peak of when you're like, oh, here it comes, here it comes. Vroom, there you have it.
That's like, that tells me nothing. That game is so far off. That game's probably like 5 years out. Like, it's crazy that they're even talking about it if they don't have like anything to show. I feel like I could mirror this thing on the x-axis as well. I think I'm gonna try that.
Gotta make a new folder.
What do you mean? Just like a new props folder?
Yeah, I haven't made a new prop folder in a bit. I forgot that step.
Yeah, file management is really a big part of it. There we go. Now I only have to make one little corner of it. Actually, the bottom should probably be flat.
So do you want to start doing 512 pixel or 1024 pixel?
I think 512 for props. 1024
right.
would be for like characters.
I asked that before. I remember now.
I used 1024 for that wall texture though, so that may have been a little over. But I'm realizing we're gonna have, anytime we import our shit into Unity, we're gonna have to go through and clean that up. So I'm not too looking forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, once we just start doing it, just staying either of those sizes, I guess. Because it wouldn't make a big difference, but if it's like expressly pixel art, then the scaling is like kills it.
So I started playing Vampire the Masquerade.
Oh yeah, how's that?
I'm having fun with it. I definitely I see why it's following, you know, it has a pretty big following. It feels very in line with like, you know, like the Fallouts and the Deus Exes and all that kind of deal. Just like immersive sim. That's another thing I was thinking about with Goblin Game. Like, would you consider Goblin Game an immersive sim?
I've never heard that phrase before.
It's like System Shock, Bioshock, Deus Ex, like those types of simulator
games. Is there another name
games.
for that? I feel like I've heard a different name used.
I mean, just like RPG, I guess. Cyberpunk, but that's just like the genre of the setting. I'd have to think on
I mean,
that.
I mean, I don't know. That just, in my head, it like there's a very fine line between those and like Souls-likes, where like the moment to moment thing is like it's an action, or not an action thing, but like I don't know, I just lost my train of thought again.
That rat brain.
I can't model and but it's just like at a certain point, like that's just like the rules of the game, you know?
Yeah.
Which those haven't been ironed out at all.
Plus, it's not really like all these, you know, like buzzwords are really helpful. Like, we just saw that with E3, how often they just like puke out a million genres that it's considered a part of, and you're just like, I don't know what this shit means, man.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know why it is, but I had a really annoying coworker, and his favorite game was Borderlands, and he sorry, he introduced me to the term looter shooter. I'd never heard of that phrase before.
Yeah, I've heard that.
He was like, I was like, what kind of games do you like? And he was like, yeah, you know, just like looter shooters. And, you know, just like, I was like, not knowing what that was. I was just like, what is that? And he's like, you know, like Borderlands. And I haven't played Borderlands.
So that just wasn't helpful at all?
Yeah. And then at the E3, They kept talking about looter shooters just during the Borderlands thing. And no other.
It's definitely a genre, but it's a genre that Borderlands kind of dominates, it seems like. Like, I can't think of a ton of other... I guess, like, Destiny and, like, Division, Anthem. Those are, like, looter shooters, I would say.
Yeah, he loved Anthem as well.
Well, that's a hot take.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had bad opinions. I do remember that about him.
Okay, I think I need to just move on to the texture. I'm just kind of dicking around at this point. I mean, the only real texture work I'm going to do is, like, an eye right here, and then the logo underneath it, I guess. And I think everything else is going to just be flat colors. Like, no, there's no, like, interesting details on these things. Maybe I'll do, like, those 3 lines. Okay, yeah, I'll just apply this shit. Oh, wait. Should I apply it? Yeah, I'll apply it. Doesn't really matter. It's a simple enough shape that I don't really need to worry about that. Let's get rid of this seam. But yeah, I forgot that that Vampires game is getting like a reboot. They're doing like a new game in the series pretty soon.
Which one? Masquerade?
Yeah. And it's not the battle royale one we saw.
Is that was a battle royale?
Yeah.
What? We just guessed it?
It felt like it, you know, it just felt right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing that it's a battle royale, but whatever. No big deal. But yeah, because I signed up for the beta and it said like this free-to-play battle royale fucking zombie or vampire game goes into alpha, yada yada yada. Yeah, I was going through the measuring performance tutorial a bit. I didn't finish it all the way, but I got, what was it? I got like about halfway there. And it's
Nice.
it's definitely a confusing one. It's not
Yeah.
like bad, but it's like it's definitely hard for me to fully keep up with.
Some of them, I think, suffer from like he doesn't totally tell you like. Look, I think like I noticed his keyword in that is when he says like, but we don't want that, we want this. Like when he says that, like that's usually when I get confused because I don't know why we want a certain thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that was maybe it was one of them that had that problem. Or I had that problem on.
Well, I noticed I started like zoning out like I was in school, like it was like a lecture. And
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, like that's a really bad habit to fall into when I'm doing this for myself, basically.
Yeah, it's weird. The early ones are like ones you could sit through really quickly, but or you could do pretty quickly, but the longer ones or the later ones, like they're way longer than they seem at first.
I will say though, there was one point where I was just kind of like when he's going over all the performance tools that you can use, where it'll tell you like exact frame drops and shit like that. You can look at a graph and you'll see when frames spikes or whatever happen, and then you can like click and see what asset caused that. That's huge. That's something that I feel like long term I'll end up using that a ton. I didn't really understand how to use it that well, but I was just thinking like, I'll come back to this and I will use this 100%.
Mm-hmm. So the vending machine is like a fridge.
Oh yeah. Do you want me to send you one of my fridges
Maybe.
to act as like a base?
I mean, I'm still gonna have to, like, I guess, I don't know if I should cut the buttons in. Like, I don't know if I should have physical buttons. I should at least have buttons sticking out.
I mean, yeah, the buttons protrude out, right? They don't sink in.
Well, I'm looking at a lot of different ones. Some of them are like flat.
That's so weird. Why can't I just clean that? Oh, that's why. Yeah, doing that mirror created a lot of like weird faces on the inside. But whatever. Okay. But yeah, these last few days I've just been kind of like just like drawing shit, like practicing my like character drawings and then building that, like trying to get better at like map building, I guess. It was weirder than I expected, having to do like topology on like a building. It was definitely
well, there's so
weird.
many different rules, I feel like, for game buildings and real buildings.
Yeah, I'm definitely more down to fall into the camp of like not caring about like real structural integrity and just kind of like make what looks good, but I'm not super sold on that. You know, I could be swayed either way. What was the other one again? 521?
What are the numbers? What?
For
what?
the size of the textures?
512.
512. How do you remember that? Is that like multiples of something or something like that?
1024, I feel like, is the easiest to remember, and I half that.
Oh, okay. You can do some weird looking shit with UVs. So I think tomorrow is the first like official E3 day, right?
Yeah, the 12th.
Or we want to do anything on that day?
I don't know. I'd be down to do another just watch along.
Okay. I want to have the texture for my camera open. I want to get that same shade of gray. Can I do the color dropper tool to something that's outside of the window? No. Dang. So I'd have to import it into Blender. I guess that's not that big of a deal. There we go. But yeah, so I did that. I also did a little bit of the mocap thing solo. So I have a little handful of animations that I could use for my guy now. I haven't actually ported them into Blender yet because that was like a bit of a tedious process. And I stopped. I was going to do that on stream, but I just realized it was too slow.
Mm.
But yeah, that went pretty well. I think if, we could do that again for sure. And just with you there and like directing for animations for your character, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Because I just did it for my guy only. I did like attacks too, like as if it was a fighting game.
Oh, nice.
I did like light punch, heavy punch, light kick, heavy kick, and I did like a fridge throw.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Oops. You're getting the shape all right though?
Yeah, I think I got a better idea of it now.
Yeah, today right after Bob's stream, I switched over to Spoon Kid's stream and he was doing a F1 grenade only in Rust, which is just like
Oh, wow.
it was so hard to watch. He was just getting his ass kicked the whole time. But it was still really like interesting. Like he did okay given that. He was like right at the end he was about to end it with an oil run. And then he just got countered and like actually put up a fight. Killed one of the guys and then the duo came and he got the duo down to like the second guy down to like 50 health but ended up losing. But it was still like very admirable for whatever it was, fucking just F1 grenades only. So he said he's gonna come back and do that again though. Oh, the name tag should be there. Yeah, so I was just watching that as I was working on that mall thing. took a ton of time just going through and each individual building I had to like completely destroy the inside of it and create new faces everywhere. Yeah, I think that's all that really needs to have extra detail. I think everything else can be flat. Okay, to Ace Bright now. What day is today? June 11th. What's this called? Metal detector. I mean, whatever. It's a theft detector, actually. Oh, I've been playing Cosmo Dread a pretty good amount too. I have 6 total hours in it now.
Oh, nice.
And I actually beat it. I like finished the game, whatever that means within a roguelike, you know.
Wow.
It was very fun. I think I got like the bad ending. I don't know if there's more to it because I was kind of like, oh shit. Like with the ending, it didn't feel right. It might just be a fucked up ending though. I feel like that's actually too big. That's actually too like high res. Oh shit, it's upside down. Yeah, so far I've been having fun watching E3 stuff. It's just been like, I gotta be ready to put on something in the background if it gets really boring. It was, I mean, that first conference, I mean, not the first conference, what the fuck was it called? The Koch one? Like, they had a really bad habit of just lingering on, like, super uninteresting questions for, like, really, really long.
Yeah. They were kind of pushing it.
So I don't want to be one of those dudes who's like, you know, like, oh, just show gameplay, like, shut up, stop talking. Like, obviously, hearing from the devs could be an interesting thing. It's just they were not asking interesting questions, and they were not getting interesting answers. Like, it was just not...
Well, I think the ideal situation is to show the trailer and then have the people talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be bored if we literally have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We've never seen what you're talking about.
Definitely a gameplay first person. I just, I know there's a lot of people that'll like...
Gameplay first.
First look. World premiere. What the fuck is that? How will I recognize them? I have a pretty good handful of new games that I've recorded for this. I just haven't like switched them over yet. I haven't actually cut them up and put them on the hard drive, I guess is what I mean.
Yeah.
There we go. That's all I need. What font is this? It's got a little serif on it. It's not italics though. Oops, maybe is it this? Almost. It's too rounded. There we go. I think that's it. Sure, they made a BTS meal at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. It's just chicken nuggets.
It's nothing like unique or tied to them at all. It doesn't feel like. I guess I don't know anything about them, but doesn't feel. I mean,
Well,
unless they're like big into chicken nuggets.
I've heard this opinion stated before, but I agree with it. That there's too many people in the band to. How could you choose one meal? Isn't there? There's like 10 guys.
That's true. Yeah, you have to find something that like collectively they all like identify with. Like that's not gonna happen.
Oh wait, is it 10 guys for 10 nuggets?
Maybe.
Is that
One
what it
nugget per
is?
guy. They do like a. Maybe you get 10 dipping sauces, and each one is like a different of their favorite sauce.
Looks like there's 7. There's 7, so it doesn't make any sense.
We're back to square one. I mean, was there anything with the Travis Scott meal? Was there anything like distinctive about that was tied to him? Or was it just
Sprite.
like something he liked?
Sprite is often mixed with cough syrup.
Oh.
It's a common mixture.
I guess I knew
I-
that. I just didn't know that was like.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the implication. I mean, they're not trying to imply that, but that's Travis Scott's implication. That you go to get the Sprite and then you put the lean in it.
Have they? How many other times have they done this? Is it just the 2?
Here's my quarter pounder. They also did the J Balvin meal.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, it was my first time learning who that was. He's like a reggaeton singer. I don't actually know anything about reggaeton.
I wonder if the whole Rick and Morty thing like pushed them to want to do that kind of thing more, or if there was just no connection to that at all.
There probably was. There was a lot of hype. It's very funny that the Rick and Morty fans were the ones who like swarmed McDonald's, whereas like BTS fans are known for being much more fanatical.
But have they been pretty chill about this?
Yeah, I mean, it's just chicken nuggets. I guess
true.
no, they have their own sauce too. They have a special sauce, so it is equivalent, I think.
Just people didn't freak out as much for this as they did for the Szechuan.
I don't know. We're talking about it.
I guess that's true. I just haven't seen anybody like, running into a McDonald's and rolling around on the floor screaming they want BTS nuggets. Whereas that definitely happened for Rick and Morty.
Well,
Although, that guy was kidding, but I mean, it was still just fucking awful.
Yeah, maybe it's just that there's no irony in the BTS meal. There definitely has to be, though. Boys that stink.
Careful with that.
I showed you Joe Sabo, right?
Maybe Joe Sabo.
The guy who does, he does the voices. He does like the voice impressions.
I don't know.
Of
It's
vehicles.
not specific. Oh, a vehicle. Wait. I don't know. It might be in there somewhere. I'm not remembering.
I think I might not have shown it to you, and that like gives me a lot of hope for the end of the stream. The end of the stream.
Something to look forward to.
Even if you go, oh, I have seen him, I will hit the mute.
You're gonna mute me?
Yes. And continue to watch Joe Saba. He's an absolute treat. How many sodas should I have on this thing?
I don't know, 5 maybe. It's kind of my gut number.
I'm seeing ranging from 6 to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Oh well, that's a M&M's. An M&M's machine. Wow.
You changing your mind about what you wanted to make?
No. It's just interesting to see all these old ones on eBay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. There's 10 here. Damn. I think 7.
Okay.
Na 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 na. And definitely gonna do square buttons.
Oh yeah. I mean, are they round there?
I see some that are round, and I'm just picturing the hexagon in my head that it would actually be.
I'm trying to just recreate the eye, but in like a little bit higher res. It's like a fresh render of it. I don't want to just copy and paste it.
Phenomena.
I feel like I had like a meltdown in my past about trying to remember what that was from.
Oh really?
It's Muppets, right?
Yeah. But even then, I don't think I knew it from the Muppets when I was like first heard it.
Do you think? I mean, is it? Would I have heard it from something else? You think? Because that
Maybe.
answer never really felt like super satisfying to me. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, when I found that out, I remember thinking like, oh, well, the Muppets wrote it. So I don't know.
I gotta turn on my blue light filter. Whenever I work with like really bright colors like this, it hurts my eyes. I'm so happy to learn that my monitor has one of those built in. I didn't even know that until I was working on the pink fridge, and my eyes were like crying.
Mm-hmm.
Just at the beauty. Maybe I should have took that as a sign that it was oversaturated.
Oh man, we're coming up 15 minutes now. I don't even have a texture. Damn it.
What was I going for with that? I don't really know. Well, I was really zoned out right there, and that dog barking just like pulled me back into reality.
A podcast that I listened to has an episode called Bluebird Chup, and I just saw it in my YouTube recommendations today, and I've had Bluebird Chup stuck in my head all day.
I thought you were to say you read the podcast, like they did like an audiobook. On Spoodkin's stream, he kept playing the fucking Angry Birds theme, so that's been stuck in my
Where's the
head.
Angry Birds theme?
You never heard that one?
Maybe.
You've probably heard it, just at least in like a meme or something at the very least. But
At the very least, I played the game.
It's a bit of an earworm, so if you're gonna look it up, prepare.
Yeah.
It looks pretty neat. I gotta put a drop shadow on it as well. See, I definitely was underestimating the shape or the process here a bit, but not too bad. I'm gonna wrap it up in time, but I'm not gonna have enough time to do like a door as well. But whatever. I knew I knew it was a possibility.
I keep accidentally scaling stuff in the wrong... Or, like, I keep scaling stuff and forgetting to grab, like, a single line, and then it gets all skewed.
I can't believe I didn't even notice the Cowboy Bebop theme was playing. I didn't even hear
I've
it.
never seen this game before. Or heard of this game before.
When I recorded this, I imagined it being like a one we were like, oh, let's go, like a one we were all excited about. I literally didn't even hear it. I didn't even hear it start. Whatever.
I spent like an hour trying to get Mark Echo's game to work. I finally got it working, but it's like very limited on what you can do. The Steam version comes with like a boot, like a launcher, but the launcher...
Oh, did you buy it on Steam?
I did.
Oh, God.
I figured I probably wouldn't put 2 hours in.
Okay.
But it was like, I think it was $15, which is a lot for that, actually. But then when I got into it, I was like, oh shit, like over and over again.
Like, you're like, oh, I'm actually having fun.
Not even that. It was just like, what the fuck is this game? Like, you couldn't play it on stream because there's so much licensed music. It feels like a weird predecessor to, like, San Andreas or something. Not that I know that much about San Andreas, but I guess, like,
San Andreas probably came first, I would bet. But I don't know for sure.
When did San Andreas come out?
It was like an earlier PS2 title, as far as I remember. It wasn't like late into the cycle. I might be wrong, though.
Maybe it was just a ripoff of GTA then.
Either way, GTA 3 was before the both of them for sure.
It has one, like, the whole thing is about graffiti, but it's also set in this, like...
You're playing as a graffitician?
No. You play as a guy named Train.
Oh, you don't play as Mark?
No. It's like Tom Clancy's.
Well, is Mark Echo like in the game?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. But it's voiced by Talib Kweli, who's a very famous rapper. It's just out of nowhere. It's just like, what the fuck, the main character? It has all this. It's very corny, but it has this one game-breaking problem for me, where the only way that you can select your inventory is by a wheel, and the only way to access the wheel is by like on keyboard is by pressing like WD for diagonal, you know, or like I would press W to do the upward inventory slot, D to the right, etc. Except there are two diagonals, so you can only access one of them if you do WD. The
Oh,
other one
God.
is locked because it's not in the right like area of the joystick.
What a pain in the ass.
And there's like a where I stopped was there's like a key item that you need to pull out of your inventory, and I just can't access it.
So you had to just call it.
Yeah, I have to buy a controller before I play that game again.
Yeah, with Vampire game, I had to use no clip like within the first like 5 minutes. I got stuck. I think it's a Source game though, so it was like I'm not 100% sure, but it feels like a Source game. I haven't fact checked it though. But I just hit tilde to open up the console, and I just typed no clip, and it just worked. I was just curious if it was like that simple. I was like, oh, okay.
That reminds me that the on the Steam like community page for Mark Echo, I found a thing that was like Mark Echo's. Well, it was written in an engine, or it's made in an engine called Slayer, which I've never heard of before. But someone wrote all the like console commands for that game, so you could do a bunch of shit. It's like completely.
Are there any console commands
open.
to like turn off the music?
Oh yeah, I was able to turn off the music. That was my first main like hurdle, because I would go.
Then
into
we
the
could still
menu.
stream it.
Well, most of it. Some of it you'd have. I mean, either way, some of it would get cut, but the problem I was having was like I would get in, go into the subway. As soon as you start the game, you're in the subway menu, where you're standing in the subway, and it has one cool feature that I actually want to steal, but as soon as you start the game, you have your iPod, and it's the big chunky white first generation iPod, and you're listening to like just whatever, it's on shuffle, and it's all licensed music.
That's the aspect you want to steal from it?
No, the thing I want to steal from it for something is the way they set up the missions. Is you get on the subway and then you look at the subway line, and each stop has like 5 missions in the stop. So you like first stop, and then you look in there and go like, okay, and then I do this mission. I'll show you sometime. It looks very nice. It's just like a bunch of dots.
Just like a slick setup.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's a nice like linear way to progress, I think. If we ever wanted to do just like a linear thing, the subway line is a great way.
Okay. I think I'm happy with this. It's really simple, and it's got that evil eyeball looking ass. Because I feel like a lot of these have like a red thing on the top up here, so I kind of like that the eye is kind of holding the place of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this works. I never even saved it. God damn.
Whoa. I accidentally did the wireframe on the...
Yeah, I've
That's
noticed
kind
if you turn on the screw modifier and then like offset it to like 0, it like does that same thing. It like makes a wireframe of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So cool.
Okay, I'm gonna try to just throw this in the mall. But yeah, I really like the like pulled apart asterisk mall thing that I did that looks like an arena. Like that was completely on accident and ended up looking pretty cool. So I saved that as a separate blend file just in case I want to take it in a different direction, but I guess I could just do it again. If I do this and then leave clipping off, and I like pull it out like this, then you have like this big open area in the middle, and the elevators become like stands for people to sit in. Obviously, it fucks up the texture really bad, but I would address that. I prefer this for sure. I also noticed the way I have it mirrored, since I did that shine in like a direction. If you look, you can see it like makes an X shape. Like they're all kind of converging to the center point.
Yeah.
I don't really like that. I think once I apply the mirror, that'll be fixed. Okay, there's my timer. Oh, I just realized I didn't even make an FBX. Yeah, definitely am looking forward to getting to the point where I can just kind of decorate this place. That seems like that's going to be fun. I just don't have a ton of things to decorate with yet. I think a lot of our props we've made could fit in here though. I just gotta find the right spots for it.
I was thinking, like the way this...
Whoa, this looks sick.
Oh yeah, that does.
Anyways.
The way the mall seems to work, at least with how we've talked about it, has been like the stores are all pretty specialized.
Yeah.
So in like a gameplay context, I guess, is there anything behind that? Like, that was a case in Mega Man Legends, right?
Not kind of. I mean, they were just very simple stores. They didn't like specialize in one item.
Right.
But yeah.
I was gonna say just like would it be that you're trying to, would it be like you like, are all the stores like basically pointless to the player, you think?
No, I think
Or
they
to
should
be
be like explorable and like We could put like
Yeah,
secrets in them,
definitely
and
explorable. But like can you buy from these shops?
maybe, yeah. I think more. I'm more focused on them being like explorable, like secrets hidden in them, and then some of them you can actually buy shit from. Maybe
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like all of them, because I would imagine like, you know, say this goes in like Hangler. Well, I guess it wouldn't go in Hangler because the mall would be abandoned then. But still, like I
Well,
would imagine.
nothing's in stone.
Oh yeah. But still, like I can't imagine we would need to buy a fridge as like the player
Yeah,
character.
exactly. I was thinking it could be good to just to like have one store look completely different, and it's just like someone's personal shop where you can like buy actual, like someone who's like you is selling stuff, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Like in Dark Souls, like if you just saw, I don't know, isn't that a thing in Dark Souls? No, not really. I'm confusing it with Sekiro. But
I mean,
just
what
like
were you talking about though?
the concept of like a Dark Souls, like an unkindled shop. Isn't that what they're called?
When you're gonna
Unkindled?
see it and be like, "Oh, this guy gets me," you know. Like
Yeah.
I actually want to
Of
buy
like
from this guy.
yeah, and it's like all stuff that pertains to your goal.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's fair to say most of the stores would be just like window dressing. They're not really like doing much.
Yeah,
I think
little
it's.
NPC houses.
I think it'd be cool to have like, you know, maybe secret entrances where they connect. Maybe have like collectibles hidden. Maybe have some like lore shit hidden in there. You know, if you want to have like story things, you could like tell little stories about the employees or something.
Yeah.
I think that kind of shit. But I mean, also, like you said, nothing's set in stone. Really, this is just because I want to make an explorable environment in Unity.
Yeah.
So, like, short term, the goal is, you know, make it so that I can walk around in this. I can pick up things, and then I can, like, hit E to interact with things, and it'll, like, have text or something. And then, you know, stretch goal is have NPCs roam in it. You could talk to the NPCs, yada yada. Like I just want it to be a little environment. I don't want to like.
Are the buildings like built into the wall mesh?
Now they are. They weren't originally.
I think that may mess you up.
How so?
Well, like the collision, you'd have to remake all the collision basically. I guess that's not that big of a deal, because you probably would have to do a lot of collision tweaking. But like it's not gonna, if it's all one object, it's not gonna treat it as, you know, it's gonna put a box around the whole thing.
Is that just
Even
a
if
Unity
you put
thing?
it in, no, even if you put it on Unreal, it would max out.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe if I keep it. Well, no. I'm gonna have to apply the mirror eventually.
I think it's like how in Gmod, like even when you put a plane down, it comes out as a 3D shape. I think walls in general need to have two sides. But I don't totally know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess that's kind of
just-
another reason why I want to do this.
Yeah.
Is to like learn
I've
that kind of
definitely
shit.
I've done a similar thing and ran into just like a collision error.
I mean, I guess worst case scenario, I could separate them. That would be a pain, but yeah, I mean, I don't think doing the collision would be too bad because it's all just like flat planes for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you want to call it there then? Or do you want to
Yeah.
get a UV or something?
I think I'm gonna call it. I set my things up in a way where like the UVs are pretty separated, like until they're joined I can have all these buttons be laid out separately, and then I can have this whole front thing be its own thing. I have these bits.
trying to see which of these would be good in the mall. Probably the bench. Bench would be a good one. Maybe I could do like an under construction area. I could put the box around there. I think barrel would be a little out of place, but I think box could work if you have like a pile of boxes.
Yeah.
And then the
I
rest
think
of these would be like stores, I think. Like if I had like a TV store, music record
Yeah, they're
store.
all pretty specialized. I realized when we made our list, we like looked around at the things that we owned, but like the things that we own are consumer items, you know.
Yeah.
They're not things like just looking at the medium.
Well,
Like, they're
I
not
went on a
that.
walk when I was making my list. I just like went on a walk around the block and was just like writing shit I thought of too.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think I don't own like I don't own everything, but I feel like in general as people, our grasp of things is just around like whatever we can own.
Yeah.
I didn't think about like a vat, but I feel like big metal vats are a common thing in games.
That's true. And especially if we're working on the mall thing, I probably should have just like I guess we just look at pictures of malls. But
Well,
I
this
was
is a new
thinking,
prompt.
yeah.
The old prompt was just to have a random library of props.
So yeah, you got like these little stand-up signs. You got like booths. You got like potted plants, benches, railings, escalator. I feel like that's more of like a programming thing. That if you wanted to make that actually like go, you got like countertops. You got like little sales booths. There's a lot of shit we could make. Just to kind of fill it up.
I was gonna suggest something as a as a like a joke thing to do, but I realized today as I was starting to work on like related stuff that it would be way too much work to get anything good done for E3. But I thought it would be funny for E3 if we announced a game project, like a joke game project. But
And then like actually work on it and
yeah. But basically it all came from the realization today that Zoop and Wetrix both have expired trademarks.
damn.
And then I got the idea of a Zoop X Wetrix thing, and then it's like that literally nothing could stop us from just making the Zoop Wetrix. Zoop Tricks.
Wetrix never got like a lawsuit from Tetris or anything.
Is that what it is? It's Tetris?
I interpret it as like
I guess it is, yeah.
Wetris. They just put
kinda
an
is
X
like
instead of an S.
I've been watching like part of it was I was watching gameplay trailers of the two I was watching gameplay of the two games.
Wetrix is crazy.
Yeah. But I realized they have a couple common features that could easily be blended. But either way, what I was really just going to suggest right now was I think this summer we should try and have something that we want to do in Unity so that we get a better idea of like something I was thinking about today was how like instead of doing textures where like all the colors are laid out, we could be doing RGB masks, but that would require a little more setup in Unity. But once
I don't know
like,
what that
I feel like
means.
it would be like masking, storing black and white masks in the R, G, and B channels of a texture, and then using those masks to then choose like you'd get 6 colors, which I guess isn't that much, but you could do grayscale and stuff too. I guess what I mean is that there's like all these systems that you can set up in Blender that you can also set up in Unity, but you can't transfer over to Unity, you know?
And the
So like
RGB alpha thing is one of the ones that you
that,
could.
yeah, that's a loose example, but things like masking, like we don't do any masks or any like a lot of games that I see they'll have like tinting and stuff. Like I was reading today about that, but that's neither here nor there. I guess getting a better idea of like what we can and can't do will definitely help avoid just like like the 600 by 600 problem. Like as soon as we got into Unity, we figured it out.
Well, that's what
So
I was thinking of the mall as kind of that
yeah,
project in my head.
but I guess I think we should have something we want to try and finish. I think we should have like a project, some sort of working game, even if it's really simple. Like we got one done in like 3 days.
Yeah, that was when I was a little bit more proficient in Unreal, and also I feel like Unreal is a little easier to start. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong in that though, because I'm just well, I guess because my starting point in Unity is I'm trying to follow this like pretty advanced tutorial. I feel like, whereas with Unreal, I was just like how to make a game, like those kind of tutorials. So they were like
Yeah.
laser focused on just like like here's a blend space. Don't worry too much about how it works. Just copy what I do, like that kind of shit. Which probably wasn't as helpful, but it helped me get shit done quicker. So I feel like right now in Unity, I'm not at a point where I can make anything quick, but I'm understanding everything better than I did in
Yeah, I'm
Unreal.
not at a point where I could make anything quick. That's where I think by the end of the summer we could get to that point if we just try and like we set the sights low in terms of what constitutes a game, and we just try and get the game like a flash game even.
Like Zoop.
Yeah.
Zoop 2.
Zoop is, I don't know. I mean, I could see how you would copy Zoop.
I still don't understand Zoop at all. I feel like I need to like study that. Oh,
I
I need
mean,
to
it
make these.
sucks.
These little signs could be fun. And I could just put anything on that texture. Oh,
Like
banners.
I feel like Zoop came from when they tried to program like circular movement, or like they tried to get a thing to like rotate around a point, and they got stuck in like that, or it could only go to X and Y axis. That's literally what the game is. You rotate around a square, and the main mechanic is like if you turn left, you'll get caught in the corner pointing one way, and if you turn right, you'll get caught in a corner pointing another way. So you want to like point in the right direction.
Okay. Well, I think we're good. I'm down to
Yeah.
dedicate to something like that, though. We just gotta pick something. Either way, I would. I mean, I feel like at least building the store is something that could be like done by the summer, maybe. I don't know though, because
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of individual props. But yeah, the interiors aren't super big, which is one thing I'm a little worried about. I'm thinking of if I could like scale it out a bit, like that kind of deal, and then like
Mm-hmm.
make the stores fit in there a little bit better. But yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm messing with it, learning it. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
ideally, I'd like to slap this into Unity, see what kind of weird shit comes from that. Try to slap just like a moving ball in here and like see if I could slope up the stairs and go in the door and jump out the window. Just little things like that.
yeah, if I'm pretty certain if it's all one mesh, it's not gonna treat every plane as a collision.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to just address that when I get to it. I don't know how else I could do this. Like, would each wall have to be a separate object?
Yeah.
How do I combine them together then?
You wouldn't combine them together. Why would you combine them together?
So, like, if I have two cubes that are separate objects, but like, I guess here, let me just make them actually like walls. And like, I want them to meet at a 90. I'm supposed to just have them like overlap like that and just leave that?
Yeah, that's what every game does pretty much. I guess really no, it's not a wall, you'd put a corner. You'd like bring the insides in, I guess. But yeah, I mean look at some games. They usually, if they have like actual physics, they definitely, I mean think of it like you can't collide with a plane, you can only collide with an object.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Really?
I'm confused.
Well, once you go into Unity for a little bit, you will be disappointed to learn exactly what I mean.
Okay.
If you zoom out really far, that's what Unity sees it as. A little disc. That you would then scale up and try and stand on.
So I need to go through all of this
You,
and
it's a, you have to
separate
think
them
of
all.
yeah, think of it less as a model, because right now what you're doing is you're making a model of a mall. Whereas in a game, it wouldn't be you're standing in a mall model, you're standing in a level. So you have to set up a level basically from scratch.
So what about like a curved wall like this?
That would be its own piece. You'd cut it out.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot of it. You definitely can't just like make one thing and then throw it into Unity right off the bat. There's a lot of chopping.
Yeah, it definitely seems like I have a lot to, either way, it's a lot of cleanup from this.
Well, I honestly I think you've benefited from Unity, like Unity being so good. Or not Unity, I'm sorry, Unreal being so good. For like I definitely know Unity has, or I keep mixing them up.
Yeah, they're too similar.
Yeah. Unreal has a very good like auto import for, you know, complex collision. But it's pretty messy, and I think it peaks at 256 tries.
So are my options either separate each individual thing into things or build a collision mesh, or is it just separate everything into pieces?
It's build it in Unity, not Blender, pretty much.
Oh. Okay. Well, maybe I'll
That
work
pretty
on
much
that.
is it.
I'll spend some time on that. That's gonna
Maybe
be
honestly try and just look for some like example levels in Unity and see what people do.
yeah, okay. So I mean, I guess I would just have like this slanted wall as an object, and then this slanted roof as an object, and then just copy and paste them over and over.
I mean, well, like remember think about like the Unreal like third person like example scenes.
Yeah.
All the walls are their own objects in the inspector.
That is true. They're just like planes, or I guess they're not planes. They're just cubes.
Yeah. And like I said, I didn't really realize this until we played Gmod, and then it clicked for me. Whenever you drew a plane, it like forced it to become a rectangle or a prism.
Yeah, I don't remember that. What is that?
Really? Or not Gmod. I kept saying Gmod and I shouldn't. Hammer, in Hammer.
Oh, okay.
In Hammer, you would draw a flat plane, and then when you actually look at it, it has a thickness because it needs a thickness for physics.
See, I think Hammer might have been why I was trying to do it like this, though. I think I was just treating Blender like Hammer.
Yeah, that's that is sort of the trick, I guess, with the differences between Blender and a game engine.
Okay,
I guess
well,
that's what I was trying to get at, was by if you get good at knowing what Unity does, then you know what Blender can't do. Sorry, I interrupted.
I think I was just gonna say that I'm just gonna have to spend some time like undoing all this shit that I did today. Then.
I wouldn't do that. I would just leave it as like a layout. This is a 3D layout, like a 3D map of how you want it to be laid out.
Yeah, I guess that's true, and it might not be too hard, especially because
And
the
you
way
said you want to change it.
yeah, and the way I built this is probably not the most ideal. Like if I would have just made this like door frame thing as an object and I just copy and paste it, like bam, 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 bam for all the back rooms. Whereas within Blender I had to go through and like manually make all of these. And same thing with like the shop front. If I have like a shop front object, and then I can just mirror flip them, and that would also guarantee they're all the same size, because these are not scaled the same at all. These are all kind of just eyeballed. Can I do like a mirror thing like this in Unity? Or would I have to
You can
do
copy
everything 4
something.
times?
You can duplicate something and then flip it.
Okay.
It wouldn't be as automatic.
I think the mirror was the biggest reason why I was so hyped about this, about doing it in
Yeah.
Blender. Because like all I did was this little corner, and I just have 2 mirrors on it, and it makes like a whole shape.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I mean, yeah, honestly, if you use the mirror and just think of this as a 3D map for laying out stuff, then you could theoretically just make like a shop prefab and drop it onto where like you want it to be on the map.
Do you think that would be a good idea? Like rather than separating it into like individual walls, if I just make the shop as an object, do you think that would be okay?
It depends on I mean, yes, that would be okay. That would be more like that implies that there's probably more detail in it, right? Or
I mean,
but
I would
even
just have
then,
like the blank slate shop
would
and
be-
then add detail after in Unity.
yeah, basically what you would do is you'd probably want to make like a prefab basic shop. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if you can edit prefabs now that I think about it.
Because I'm assuming I can like take
You
one
could
wall
definitely
object, duplicate it 50 times, and put 50 different colors on each of them. They don't have to all be the same color, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll get into that. That specifically is a question. That's like a specific question.
Yeah.
Because you would have to have a different material technically, like the way you're talking, or the way you or going about that way would be you would have to make a different material with a different color. But if you made a material that like had built-in, never mind. It's a little harder to explain,
Okay.
just because I'm not I only know about it. I don't know the process.
So yeah, that's what the whole point of the summer project idea was for, right? Just to like
Yeah,
get practical
exactly.
experience doing this kind of shit. So yeah, I guess I will. I'll recreate this in Unity. I think that'll be my next little hurdle with this thing then, because I don't want
I
to
mean,
dump
if
all
you
this
did that,
effort.
it could turn into a VR chat world.
That's true. Because yeah, I don't want to dump all the effort into this Blender version of it if I'm gonna have to like
Yeah.
redo everything anyways. Like you said, it is nice to have like a 3D representation of it, but if I could have a 3D representation of it and just use that same thing as the actual game, like there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
I just don't want to have to. I just don't want to scrap all this. It feels like I
Well,
kind of have to. Not
maybe
all of it, but sorry.
before you like dive deep into it, maybe just like look. I don't know.
Yeah, like
I
try
feel
to
like
download test levels and
oh well, yeah, that too. That I do think that's a good idea. I was just gonna say like look into like how maybe like I guess that's it's more than just a tutorial on like how prefabs work and stuff. Because I would be afraid if you copied a bunch of things over and over and then changed each one individually, and then you had to go back and change each one individually again, like over and over and over,
oh yeah.
because something changed and then something changed again and again and again. Because
So the
prefabs
mesh
are
would
like,
be one thing. So like it would be convenient to set it up where the mesh a change would apply to all of them, but then they all have separate materials.
yeah.
That sounds good. Well, now it's a football stadium.
Mirror's very cool.
Okay. Well, I think we can call it there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be heading to bed pretty soon.
Okay, so I'll do some experimentation with. I might just do the Unity tutorial, but I think it might be good for me to just kind of play in Unity on my own terms. So I think
Yeah.
it might be a good idea to mess with that. All right. Well, good jam. Let me know when you
Yeah.
wrap up that vending machine. I'll slap it in here.
Yeah, I think I hopefully I'll just wake up tomorrow and continue it.
Well, actually, do you want to just send me the FBX for it still, just in case? Like, I want to just do the texture, you know what I mean? I want to do my own texture. Or do you want to
Sure.
wait until you do the UVs?
I haven't unwrapped it yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
it would be I haven't done anything with UVs yet.
Well, either way, whatever. I mean, I have stuff to do. It's not like I'm going to be itching for something to work on.
Yeah.
I think this looks sick. If I could find a way to make it so that... Whoa. Whoops. If I could find a way to make it where it, like, spins like this,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, all of them spin and they, like, lock into place with each other. It's like a portable mall or something.
What do you think about like a goblin flash? When I say flash, I've been saying flash, but really what I mean by flash is like how they had like portal flash. No, that's a bad example actually. Really what I mean is like when they make a game like super simple and then they just keep improving on it over time, you know? It shouldn't call it Flash. It's not Flash.
I mean, just a simple game that we work on over time and keep adding to.
I was gonna say just like we do, like we try and do a Goblin game, but not like the Goblin game. Just like
A
try
goblin
and
game.
make, yeah, just try and make like a little mini game or like a little, you know,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
a
that could be
mission
fine.
or something. A single mission with the Goblin.
That's why I just want to get to the. That's why I want to finish up this Unity tutorial, because I want to get to the point where I can do shit like that, where I could like make an animation for a character, slap him in there, add dynamic bones to him, and then just run around in an environment and like actually control him Because that's kind of what
Well,
VR chat has been for me. But if I could
I
do
will
that in my
say,
own world, that would be fun.
I don't the nothing related to character animation is in any of those tutorials.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have to get to that. But
Yeah.
I'd imagine that'll be similar to Unreal's. Because they both use blend spaces, right?
Yeah.
And I saw a little bit of the like state machine setup
Yeah,
when
I
I
feel
was
like you
messing
have
with
more
VR chats stuff. So I mean, it's kind of it looked comparable.
cool.
I kind of like
I
this
know.
too. It's like a tower with no roof on it, like this.
Mhm.
This is interesting. Anyway, sorry.
So good. I'm gonna call it a night.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for wrapping this thing up. Still coming in and doing one.
Best I could.
All right. Well, I'll see you later. I'll end the stream here. Goodbye, everybody.
Cool.